Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Monday, March the 20th. We got a shorter slate tonight. I think it's a 6-game slate, but still, we got a decent amount of player props to choose from tonight as always. And I'm recording this video a little early, around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, but I already found 2 picks I liked for today. Taking a first look at the board right now, we got a fantasy score prop I'm liking for today, and then we have a points prop I'm liking. So we're going to talk through these 2 plays. We're going to share why I like them. But before we do get started breaking down the plays, make sure, as always, if you guys enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. We are getting very close to 40,000 subscribers. I think we're less than 1,000 subscribers away from 40,000, which is just crazy, man. It's crazy that I've been doing fantasy sports and DFS content forever for 6-7 years, and the channel just keeps growing, man. Every year we're getting more and more subscribers. We're just breaking more milestones. So I appreciate all you guys checking out the channel. Again, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And also, if you're new to Prizepicks, if you've never checked out Prizepicks before, you can sign up for Prizepicks. You can use my promo code Noah. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. So check out Prizepicks, see all the props they have available for tonight. Tell the plays I give out in this video if you would like. See if there's any plays you find for yourself that you like. Prizepicks, they do offer a ton of other sports outside of just NBA. So you can make multi-sport entries. You can make NBA picks, pair those with some NFL pick, or not NFL, but NHL picks. We got spring training going on for baseball. You got March Madness. You got the college basketball tournament. So you can do college basketball if you're in an eligible state. So give Prizepicks a try, guys. Use that code Noah when you sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I know we didn't make any videos over the weekend, but I still do want to recap our plays from Friday. So in Friday's video, we gave out 2 picks Friday. Unfortunately, DeJounte Murray came up just short of his fantasy score, so we did not cash that 2-pick entry. DeJounte came up short. We did cash the over, though, on Brandon Ingram's fantasy score. Took that over 39.5 in a pretty good matchup for him against the Rockets, and he came through late in the game. I think he finished with 43 fantasy points. But DeJounte Murray, we needed 36.5 fantasy points from him, and he finished 3 points short. He had 33.7 or something. And I said it in that video. Go back and watch Friday's video. I literally said it, I never get DeJounte Murray right. Every time I take an over on DeJounte Murray, he just plays terribly. It's a comical at this point. I mean, every single time I take an over on DeJounte Murray, he just plays like shit. He shot 4 for 14. I think he had I don't know. He almost had a triple double. He had 11 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists or something, but didn't do enough to go over that fantasy score line. And I really like that matchup for him against Golden State. I like that game environment. That game wound up being very, very high scoring. It's just that DeJounte really didn't do much offensively, didn't really contribute much. And of course, the next day, take a look at DeJounte's game log yesterday, Sunday, against the Spurs. He had 50 fantasy points yesterday. It's just every time I take an over on a guy and they suck, the next game they go off when I don't take an over on him again. It happens every single time. It's ridiculous. But yeah, DeJounte Murray, man, I hate to say I need to make a ban list, but dude, I swear, I just never need to take an over on this guy. Every time I take an over on him, he just plays terribly. But we'll move on to Monday's slate. Hopefully, luckily the Hawks don't play today, so hopefully we can cash our 2 plays for today. Got a fantasy score prop I'm liking for today, guys, and a points prop. So let's talk through them. Let's start off with the fantasy score prop, and this is one that I don't know if a lot of people are really gonna like or they're gonna agree with. But Nikola Vucevic's fantasy score of 33.5, that just looks way too low to me here. And I know the matchup against Joel Embiid is not the best, but Vuce has actually had a lot of success in the past against Joel Embiid. And this is an over that I actually do like quite a bit today. So Vuce this season, been a guy that's going to play pretty big minutes. His minutes lately have been really, really high. Last game against Miami, 39 minutes. Game against Minnesota went to overtime, but he played 46 minutes in that game. He played 35 minutes against Sacramento, played 33 against Houston, played 35 against Denver, 36 against Indiana. He's playing 34, 35, 36 minutes in competitive games. And as long as he avoids foul trouble here against Joel Embiid, and this game is competitive, which it should be, we're going to get probably 34, 35, 36 minutes from Vooch. And this season, Vooch has been a very productive per minute player. He's averaging 1.15 fantasy points per minute. He's gone over this line in 21 out of his last 25 games where he's played at least 35 minutes. So normally when he plays his full minutes, he's going to go over this fantasy score line. The reason this fantasy score line is a little bit lower than normal is because of the matchup with Embiid. I think a lot of times you see when centers go up against the Sixers, their lines will be a little bit lower than normal just because there's a little bit more foul trouble risk guarding Embiid. Embiid's not like an elite defender by any means, and we've seen guys have good games against Embiid. And Vooch specifically has had a lot of success against Embiid in the past. So they've already faced the Sixers 2 times this season. It is worth noting that one of those 2 games Joel Embiid did not play in. So the game that Joel Embiid did not play in, Vooch actually had a triple-double. He put up 19 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 blocks. He had 60.6 fantasy points in that game. Again, Joel Embiid did not play in that one. But they played again on October 29th. That was a game that Joel Embiid did play in. And in that game, Vooch had 49.3 fantasy points, played 36 minutes, had 23 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. So he's over this line in both games against the Sixers this season. One of the 2 was without Embiid. But even if you take a look at previous seasons, versus the Sixers, he did have a game last season on February the 6th. He put up 35.9 fantasy points. So basically his last 2 games against Joel Embiid, 49.3 fantasy points, 35.9 fantasy points. Then he had a game where he put up 27.2. He had a game where he put up 24. But then he had 35.5, 41.9, 40.9, 47.2, 50.6, 64.6. Now, a lot of those games were when he was on the Magic, and obviously his role is different on the Bulls versus when he was on the Magic. But clearly, when you look at his previous history versus Joel Embiid, he's been able to be productive. And Vooch is one of these guys that can do a little bit of everything when he's on the floor. I mean, he's had some triple-doubles this season. He had a triple-double earlier this year against the Sixers. He doesn't have to go out there and put up like 30 points to go over this line. He can score 14 points. He can grab 12 rebounds. He can get you 5 assists. He could get a steal and a block or 2. And again, I think this fantasy score line is just too low for a guy like Vooch, who's most likely going to average over a fantasy point per minute, most likely going to play 34, 35, 36 minutes if this game is competitive. And he's usually a guy that's pretty good at avoiding fouls. I think this season he's only averaged 2.3 fouls per game. So I don't really worry about him getting in foul trouble. Normally you would worry about foul trouble when you're talking about guarding Joel Embiid, but Vooch is pretty good at avoiding fouls. Now, hopefully that, hopefully that stays the same today. Hopefully he doesn't get in foul trouble or anything. Foul trouble is one of those things you can't really predict anyway. Even when a guy's going up against Joel Embiid, it's not like they're automatically going to get in foul trouble. And this line is kind of factoring that in. It's almost like this line is projecting Vooch to get in foul trouble, or it's projecting him to play less than normal minutes. And if this game's competitive, he's playing massive minutes. So give me the over on 33.5 fantasy score for Nikola Vucevic today. Just think this line's way too low if Vooch does wind up playing his normal minutes, which again, I think he will, barring a random blowout or random foul trouble. And then the other prop that I like for today is a points prop, and I want to talk about Klay Thompson, who's in a really, really good spot today against the Rockets, and I like his over on 22.5 points. We've seen Klay kind of struggle lately. His last 3 games, he's gone under this prop in 3 straight. He just went under against Milwaukee. He did have a big game, though, against Phoenix, putting up 38 fantasy points. This feels like a big, big bounce-back spot, though, for Klay. And if you look at this matchup against Houston, this is arguably one of the best possible matchups for Klay. This Rockets team, in terms of three-pointers allowed, they're giving up the most three-pointers allowed per game. They're giving up 39 threes allowed per game, which is the most in the league. They're giving up 14.6 threes made per game, which is the most in the league. And they're allowing teams to shoot 37.4% from 3, which is 3rd most in the league. So it's been getting guys that can shoot threes against the Rockets has been a goldmine this season. And we've seen Klay have a ton of success against the Rockets this season. You look at his 2 games against Houston this year, 41 points and 42 points. Just crazy. Now, one of those games was without Steph Curry. When they played Houston on February 24th, Steph Curry did not play that game, and Klay had 42 points. But even the game on November 20th, Klay had 41 points. He shot 14 for 23 and 10 for 13 from 3. So he shot 10 for 13 from 3 in one game against Houston, and then the other game against Houston, he shot 12 for 17 from 3. This team just gives up a ton of three-point attempts, and we know that Klay Thompson is one of the best three-point shooters in the league. We know that's where he loves to take a bunch of his shots is from behind the arc. I was hoping that Prizepicks was going to give us a three-pointers made prop for Klay Thompson. Right now, on the sportsbooks, on DraftKings Sportsbook, his over 3.5 threes made is like minus 160, so Prizepicks is not going to offer that. But I think 22.5 points is something that he can still get us. He's going to take a ton of threes in this matchup. The Rockets give up a ton of threes, and this should be a great game environment. This should be a fast-paced game. You look at the totals of all the 6 games today. This game has the second highest total on the slate, 238.5 total. The Warriors are actually favored by 10.5 today. But man, like, I don't know. Like, the Warriors on the road this season have been really bad. Their defense has been really bad on the road. Even though this game has a 10.5 point spread, I think this game will be competitive. If I was in a sports betting state, I would 100% bet the Rockets plus 10.5. Like, I think the Rockets can actually hang here. I don't think they're going to win this game, but I think they'll be able to keep this game competitive enough to where Klay does wind up playing the full, his full minutes. He'll play in the fourth quarter. And he's had a ton of success in this matchup this season. 40-plus points in both of his games against Houston. Klay's been in a little bit of a slump lately, but I think this is a big bounce-back spot for him in one of the, arguably one of the best possible matchups you could ask for a guy like Klay Thompson, who loves to shoot threes, and that's where the Rockets just give up a ton is from behind the three-point line. So that's what I'm liking for today, guys. Nikola Vucevic over 33.5 fantasy score, and Klay Thompson over 22.5 points. That Klay Thompson prop, it was actually at 21.5 shortly before I started recording, but it did get bumped up. I'm still fine taking it at 22.5. I would have liked to have gotten it at 21.5, but at 22.5, I think it still looks really good in this very favorable matchup. So this one I'm going to be rolling, guys, as kind of an early 2-pick entry for today. I'll be taking a look at the board again, though, as more props start to get added. We're starting to get more fantasy score props up on the board. Going to take a look through those, see if there's anything else I find that I like. I'll probably be sharing at least 3-4 more plays over on Patreon for today. So if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, every play I do provide on Patreon and give a full write-up for. Also, I give my favorite 2 plays of the day. So once the full board gets posted, I can take a look through everything and find some more plays. I'll share those on Patreon. I'll take the plays I give out in this video on YouTube, take those, combine them together, and then out of all those 5 or 6 plays, I'll figure out which 2 are my 2 favorites. I'll post those on Patreon as well. So a lot of stuff goes up on Patreon every day. Check that out if you are interested. It's linked down below in the description. But if you guys enjoyed this Prizepicks video, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, go check out Prizepicks, sign up for Prizepicks, use my promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But hope you guys all enjoy your Monday night. Hopefully we can all make some money tonight, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Best of luck tonight. Peace.